And we are a relatively new organization, Voice of Men 360, but we're going to do some great work moving forward. We're going to have a forum so that we can get active in men's work. And you know what? There may be, I hope none on this line. I don't expect anybody on this line would be the type of attitude to say, oh, that men have enough issues going on or enough people looking out for them. You know what? I think we're beyond that. And every person we can influence in the right direction. Again, it's another voice for change. So again, I'm proud to support Voice of Men 360. I'm glad to belong to the organization. And again, if you're looking for something, you need something in your life to improve, to become better, giving back, helping out your fellow man, that is one way to improve your life. We are so disconnected from life right now, especially with everything that's going on. But even before we had all these issues appear in our life, we had a disconnect from humanity. We had lost touch with reality. We move so fast and we just try to get by and we try to live this life and we have a hard time keeping up. My next guest would like to help you reconnect. I'm not sure if he's ready. I don't see him in this backstage here. So it's okay. I do see him now. So we are going to get ready to move on. But yeah, so we're talking about disconnect because we're in the 21st century. We move so fast. Life goes on. We're working two jobs, right? Husband, wife, not enough time for the kids, not enough quality time at home. There's just too much that we're missing out on. I met this gentleman also through Voice of Men 360 for this big event that we just put on recently in honor of International Men's Day. And because of his message, because of his passion and his purpose, I knew we had to bring him to you today. So again, Curtis, would you like to talk about our guest? Let people know.
Sure.
Would you like to tell people a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, my daughter's downstairs right now. I'll go over here. Hold on.
Tell us a little bit about our guest, and then we'll bring him on to tell a little bit.
Our next guest is Jonathan Tarrant. He is a self-discovery coach for men, best-selling author, podcaster, and public speaker. Jonathan believes that the root of humanity, conflict, and strife is the disconnection that so many of us experience. Disconnection from ourselves, from each other, and from the planet itself. He has come to this awareness through incredibly challenging personal experience and very hard-won awakening. Jonathan is the visionary founder and CEO of Live More, a platform which is a global engine for social change and personal growth, like the world has never seen before. Let's welcome Jonathan Tarrant. Welcome, Jonathan, and let's listen to your story. Thank you.
Right on. Thanks very much, Curtis. Thank you, RJ. It's definitely a pleasure to be here today. I'm honored that you guys invited me out. And thank you for the introduction. So I wonder, maybe we're interested to know, like, what inspired me to create my personal development brand, Live More. You know, what inspired me to change my life so much to write a couple books so far, to become an international best-selling author, which is pretty exciting. What inspired me to create my podcast and to take up public speaking? You know, why did I create the Lost and Found Man online course? Well, like, what's my why for all of this? And really, it's to set myself, for one, fully, wholeheartedly, and emotionally free, and to take as many other men with me as I possibly can. Now, what do I mean by free? I mean free to embrace everything that we are, all of our complexities, all of our emotions, and all of our masculine strength. I mean free to show up powerfully and completely in all of our relationships, you know, our friendships, our marriages, our relationships with our children, our relationships with ourselves. This is what the Lost and Found Man is all about. It's finding yourself. It's learning what drives you and becoming the man you were born to be. It's about discovering your connection to yourself and to the world. Certainly, this is something that I needed a long time ago and I couldn't find. When I needed it most, I couldn't find it, either because it wasn't there, it wasn't readily available enough, or because I was blocking myself. But at any rate, the end result was that I wasn't able to get the help that I needed. I had to come to my own awakening the long way, you could say, the hard way. And I did a lot of damage before I got there. And it was that realization that sparked the inspiration for Live More in me. Live More is the foundation. It's the original, massive, incredible vision that was given to me all at once in my darkest hour. I mean, maybe it was a gift, or maybe I was finally open enough at that point to be able to see it, to allow it to come out from inside of me and to show itself. Live More is really everything I've always wanted in life, everything I've been starving for so long. And now it's like the banner that ties all of my work together. The vision of Live More was so intense for me when it arrived. And I think it had to be to shine through the darkness of my emotional collapse, which at the time was awful for myself, obviously, and for many other people who were closely involved with me. For me, it was like a never-ending volcano of sadness and regret and pain and realizations, which lasted for months and months and months. As I mentioned, I took the long, slow road to my breakdown, and I've come to realize now that I've been putting pieces in place little by little along the way as I carried on with my sort of normal life. I've been building up to that point of collapse since my childhood, really. I grew up with a lot of anxiety, a lot of extreme self-consciousness at times, certainly a lot of self-doubt and lack of self-worth, and most of all, disconnection from myself and from those around me. I've often said that I felt like an observer in my own life. I never felt grounded. Meaningful human connection was something that was missing for me. And because I didn't know what it looked like or what it felt like, I didn't know how to open myself up to it with others. And I didn't know how to create that kind of relationship. I spent a lot of time in my head thinking, overthinking, and overthinking some more. I'd often think myself right out of taking any action. I'd get myself so worked up over potential future outcomes that it was impossible to just relax and let things flow naturally. And of course, that is a major vicious cycle. I will say that I had reasonably good awareness of my own hang-ups for a while, but I never managed to resolve the stronger ones on my own, and then as I got older, and as my responsibilities and obligations increased, I began to feel my own identity slowly slipping away. That was my impression anyway. I didn't know who I was, and even experiencing that while I still felt as though I'd never really discovered who I was in the first place. I had never really found myself, and I lost track. Eventually, I lost track of my desire to be a better man, and I lost myself into my own ego, and I fell into a state of denial, and I really couldn't find my way out. And that was my life, you could say, right up to the last moment. I really wanted help, but I didn't know where to find it because I didn't see myself as worthy enough of the effort or the expense of going for professional help. And honestly, the few times that I did get such help as an adult, I was really not impressed with the level of service that I experienced. What I really wanted, I believe, was a strong role model, one who was real, not like a movie star, not like some distant idol, one that could be part of my life for long enough to make a difference. And that's the thing that I never got until much later. Only recently have I become that for myself, with a lot of help from other men and from a few solid mentors. I was finally ready for them after my awakening. I sought them out, and thank God I had the internet to help me out. I had the resource, the access to information and research that the internet provides, which has been tremendous. I couldn't see what I was missing before, at least not clearly. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't know what wholehearted human connection was supposed to look like. And that's one thing that totally blew my mind after my breakdown. Finally experiencing what it felt like to be seen, to be heard, and appreciated for who I really was. Because I finally decided to just say, screw it, and show myself without second guessing every move and every thought, which is what I used to do. That's one of the gifts that I got from having a major break in my life. I honestly felt like I had nothing left to lose. So I was in a position where I was able to throw away the limiting beliefs that I could see had never served me, and I could choose to go in a completely new direction. And this is something that anyone can do at any time. It's just that we're afraid, and we don't usually have enough of a push. And this is where Live More comes in, not as a push, but as a presence in your life, as something you see all around you, eventually as part of our social fabric, creating room for the conversation, inspiring the conversation about what it means to be you and to be human, cultivating a feeling of community and acceptance, right? It's on the way. Community and acceptance and real human connection are things that I believe could change the world in profound ways. As human beings, we tend to see ourselves as separate from nature. We often judge each other and ourselves far too harshly. We judge ourselves far too harshly. We judge things that we don't understand. We're afraid of things that are different, but we rarely take the time to look for commonalities. We seek to relieve our pain and loneliness by acquiring more and more materialistic stuff. We humans do horrendous things to each other because we aren't feeling our connection. We aren't present to the oneness of it all. We consume everything, and we seem to imagine that this world is ours for the taking. But we are this world. We weren't placed on it. We are made of it. There's no separation other than that which we create. No single component is more important than any other. And when we abuse this world, we are equally abusing ourselves. Those of us who feel their connection, who are present to it, are usually a joy to be around. You want those people in your life because you feel alive when they are. That is the power of deep connection. This has been the revelation of my life. This is what Live More promotes. This is what the Lost and Found Man online course can help you find. And it's not complicated either. It just takes some time, some persistence, and some patience. When we feel our connection to ourselves, to each other, and to the world, it becomes almost unthinkable to purposely harm someone else or really any other living thing. It becomes easy and pleasurable to help others, or to at least give them much more understanding. It becomes desirable to protect and preserve our natural environment. We appreciate it deeply as we love and appreciate ourselves. That is the power of wholehearted connection. Imagine what the world could look like if even more of us felt so connected. Now, how do we achieve such a connection? I've been mentioning limiting beliefs And these are internal ideas that you have about yourself and about the world. Limiting beliefs are like your reference points, and they're typically not things that you knowingly created for yourself on purpose, ironically enough. They can definitely get in the way of you finding your connection, though. They may be working against you all the time and keeping you from seeing things clearly. So if I may, I'd like to offer you something of value today that you can take away with you and put to use right away. As a first step towards opening yourself to deeper connection, I'd like to touch on the topic of something directly related to limiting beliefs, which is negative self-talk. I'm choosing this because negative self-talk is not too complicated, and it's something you can start observing and changing immediately if you so desire. Negative self-talk offers a window into what your limiting beliefs look like. It's basically like the voice of those beliefs. How often do you stop and listen to the way you talk to yourself inside your head? Would you ever allow another person to speak openly to you in that way without calling them on it? What I'd like to suggest as a first step towards finding a much deeper connection with your world is for you to purposely create a new habit of listening to the way you talk inside your head and listen to what comes out of your mouth. Practice doing this all day long, like for at least a week. Listen to how you talk to yourself. Listen to the things that you think about others. Listen to the things you may actually say out loud to others. Listen to the way that you talk. Listen to the way that you talk about yourself to others. Not judging, just observing and thinking about the way it makes you feel. If your self-talk is the voice of your limiting beliefs, what do you think those beliefs must look like based on what you're hearing? This is just a simple exercise to get you thinking and observing yourself, hopefully impartially. And if you don't like what you hear or what you feel that it implies, you can choose to change it. You can choose to use your self-talk as a tool for empowering yourself. And if you do choose to change it and you stick with it for a while, then the new way will become a new habit. And you'll be well on your way to finding yourself and your deeper connection. It's really an amazing journey. And you are, I assure you, you are very much worth the effort. Your family and your good friends are very much worth the effort. And if I can be a part of that journey with you in some small way, if I can offer you some guidance, some insight, or some kick-ass resources like the Lost and Found Man, it would truly be my pleasure. I'm very grateful for your time today, grateful for your attention, and for the opportunity to be a part of the Better Life Symposium. Thank you.
Jonathan, thank you so much for being a part of this. You know what? We've all worked so hard to put this on. This was my vision, of course, but I mean, our vision here is working together for a better tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And through the different platforms that I'm involved in, through you're involved in, that's how we get connected. That's how we end up doing some great work.
That's right. That's right. Totally agree with you. I mean, I'm sure there's a well-worn saying, which is no man is an island. And I used to see myself as an island. I used to feel very much isolated. And now that I am much freer, now that I'm willing and have been actively pursuing connection with many, many other people, the difference is incredible. You know, the network that I have now, the multiple networks that I have now have benefited my life, benefited me in so many ways I can't even begin to describe. Like the, you know, networking in my isolated and more antisocial days, networking was like a bad word for me. I didn't want any part of it. And now I love it. I love the opportunity to meet new people and see what they're about and talk about what I'm doing, see what they're doing. It's amazing, you know. And as you said, once you get into a good network, a network of people that are all interested in elevating each other, exponential growth is what follows.
Right. And the word you use is connection, right? We're doing so much better, and we become so much better because of getting connected with others and getting connected with communities and becoming involved, right? Like sometimes, you know, we like you mentioned, you were very much an introvert and you kind of wanted to hide in the background. But you know what? By getting out there and just stepping into what it is, look, we want to build a life you love to live. By stepping into that, you can become that person just by having those conversations and you know, listen, we inspire each other. You know what I mean? Sivan fired us up because with the men's issues and got us involved in that issue. But that led from Jerome, who started it 20 years ago. By just getting involved, you can get that connection back that you were talking about, that disconnect, but you can also find yourself in there somewhere.
Exactly.
And I like one that you mentioned, the negative self-talk, because I mean that's what helped change me in my original days of despair. Was I discovered cognitive behavioral therapy, and that's exactly what it is recognizing, observing that this is what I'm saying, this is what that thought is causing. What's a better way to have that thought so that it's more empowering?
Exactly. The words. The language that we use, as you mentioned, which we may not even be aware of, it's very powerful. It's very powerful, and it's like a constant reinforcing of whatever your beliefs are, whatever mood you're in, right? However you're feeling, you're having this monologue with yourself, and if you're not controlling it, it will potentially just run you into the ground. It will just reinforce wherever your mindset is. And if you are in a self-destructive place, if you're not feeling good about yourself, if you are, you know, feeling less than for whatever reason, that self-talk, if left unchecked, will simply drive you further into the ground.
Absolutely. And so you have put together this course called The Lost and Found Man. We're, of course, proud to present it here. You know what? We didn't have time to set up affiliate links and things like that, but we want people to get the program and the training they need. Reach out to Jonathan, get access to his program. You know what? If you need to find yourself, you're a little bit, you know, you need that connection. You don't know where to find it. You don't know where that spark is coming from. Please reach out to Jonathan for this course. Of course, if you want to support our community, please you give him the code LLL2021 to let him know that you came from our community. So again, it's about carrying it forward and you know, working together for a better tomorrow. Jonathan, I'm pleased we're connected. Thank you for being a part of this, and I'll make sure that we adequately support each other moving forward. Thank you very much.
Right on. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks,
I love your presentation. It was very good.
Right on. Thank you.
And that was Jonathan. He talked to us about connection. Still there with me, Curtis?
I am here.
Thank you. That was Jonathan Tarrant. He is a self-discovery coach for men. I met him through Voice of Men 360, felt I had to bring him to you. There's a lot of synergy between his work and mine. So I'm very pleased to bring you Jonathan Tarrant. He is the founder and CEO for Live More. Again, the synergy. And you can find that community at www.live-more.ca. He has a training program available for you guys. He briefly mentioned it at the end there. And that's you can find at www.lostandfoundman.ca. And please let them know you came from the Better Life Symposium. Use code LLL2021. Jonathan, thank you for your time today. Thank you for bringing that message forward. And thank you for helping people to live a better life or live more, as the case may be. Thank you, Jonathan, for being part of this community and for joining us today at the Better Life Symposium. Ladies and gentlemen, I am RJ Horner. That has been our broadcast today for Better Life Symposium. Again, I'm RJ Horner, your host and facilitator for Live and Love Life Empowerment. We are your community for life, and we are here to help you build a life you love to live. You can find us at our website, www.live-love-life.ca. You can find more of our speakers and their recordings at www.live-love-life.ca/better-life. That's www.live-love-life.ca/better-life. You can find us on Facebook. Please like and subscribe there at facebook.com/groups/live-to-love-life. That's live, the number 2, love life. Facebook.com/groups/live-to-love-life. And of course, please like and subscribe on YouTube if you like these videos and want to know more, want to follow us. Please like and subscribe on YouTube at Live and Love Life Empowerment. Again, thank you for joining me today. I am your host and facilitator, RJ Horner, for Live and Love Life Empowerment.